Hi everyone, Bernard here. Welcome to the Citizen channel. I hope you're all staying safe and well. And we have a preview today, a preview of match at Turf Moor. Turf Moor playing, didn't see that long ago. We played them last time actually. It is quite a while at Turf Moor. I think we played in the Cup, didn't we? This is a league game, obviously. So yeah, that's probably why I didn't see them that long ago. Yeah, so we're playing at Turf Moor against Burnley on the 3rd of February. 2021 with a 6 p.m. kickoff here in the UK. It'll be on BT Sports, I believe. Of course, today with our normal features in here, we'll have a look at our opponents, some of the history between our clubs, and of course, our just for fun section on the odds on the game, some just for fun bets on there. Please, if you're new to this channel, push that subscribe button and push the notifications. I'm trying to get to 700 subscribers by the end of February, and I'm trying to get to 1,000. I'm going mad. I'm trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the football season, end of May at a pinch. If we can get there, fantastic. If you're not already sub, please do so. If you've got any City supporting mates, please point them in my direction. Tell them where I am. Get them to sub as well. It'll be absolutely fantastic. There's loads of stuff on there. If you check the playlists, City history, City present, City quizzes, lots of different things, City magazine, vlogs, stuff like that. So plenty to keep you entertaining. If there's one thing you don't like, I'm sure there's something coming along that you would like. So there you go. So there's a lot of people like history. I like history, but that's why I do different things to try and appeal to everybody. And if you do check the playlist, you'll notice some stuff on my film and TV channel as well. And if you're interested in film and TV, I do little TV drama reviews, film reviews, information vlogs on what's out to buy, what's on at the cinema eventually, although it's been a few months since we've done one of them, but hopefully we will do it one day very, very soon. So please check that out. If you've no interest, that's fair enough. If you know anyone who might be interested, please point them in my direction again. I'd be very, very grateful. Of course, there's always loads of football stuff, so even if you're not bothered with that, there's loads of football stuff on my channels anyway. And please check out my links on Facebook and Twitter. If you have to friends or followers, just friend or follow me on there. I do check every couple of days and friend and follow everyone back. Right, Burnley, right, the history boys. Yeah, a couple of the older programmes there, and not so old, sort of oldish, like me, that one. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, last league meeting, of course, at Turf Moor was the 3rd of December 2019. Yeah, a comfortable win, 4-1. That's when we were letting the odd goal in, though, wasn't it? We had Jesus scored a couple, Rodri and Mahrez, but Burnley got a very, very late consolation goal, if you remember, ruining a clean sheet. That doesn't happen often these days, does it? Overall, yeah, away at Burnley, we played 48. Won 15, so not great. They're drawn 12 and lost 21, so they've got quite a good record. But when we have beat them, we've done all right because our goals for and against is quite healthy. We've scored 77, and despite obviously losing a lot more than we've won, we've only let 79 in, so we've only got a -2 goal difference. Our biggest win back in 98-99 with Horlock, Morrison, a goal-to hat-trick, and Allsop in the Nationwide Division 2, of course, 98-99. What a season that was, eh? Our biggest defeats away at Burnley in Turf Moor was 5-2. So it's not that bad, is it, 5-2? That was back in 1921-22. It is Mr. Tennis player, 147 break at snooker, rugby player, I think, as well. Mr. Max Woosnam scored one of the goals, and it was an own goal as well, contributed to that. But he's quite a hero on his own, Max Woosnam. What a guy he was. Cricketer as well, Gander cricketer, fantastic. Yeah, my little visit, my first away programme that I've collected. I was going to the games, but obviously I wasn't going to the games to the mid-70s. But my first away programme that I collected was this one here, which will be up on screen as well, for the 2nd of March 68 game. It was a run into the title, wasn't it? I think it's about still quite a few games to go at that stage. We sat 4th in the table for that game. After 29 games, we were actually 6 points behind the leaders, United. And don't forget, it was only 2 points to win in those days, so it's quite a gulf, wasn't it? But of course, history told us, when we know if we were there, that we'd go on and win it that season. Yeah, the attendance at that game was 23,486. A certain Mr. Clive Thomas was a referee, interestingly enough. He actually gave us a penalty. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah, it was actually scored by Francis Lee in the 65th minute. We've got an image there of the penalty from at the programme of the following game. And Brian Crowther, writing in The Guardian on the 4th of March, described the penalty incident and the penalty. He said the goal came in the 65th minute. Thompson rushed out of his goal to intercept Bell near the edge of the penalty area. Failing to get the ball, he pulled Bell down with a low rugby tackle, and there was no disputing the penalty. Well, we didn't need VAR in those days, did we? Lee put the ball into the left-hand corner of the net from the spot. Well, he didn't miss that many, did he? He did miss some, but he didn't miss that many. And Brian Crowther's summation of the game, yeah, Burnley were not doing too bad there that season. They're not a bad team. Still, they're not a bad team now. I mean, it's a bit cruel, isn't it? But obviously they won the league back in 1960, didn't they? But his summation of the game was Burnley previously unbeaten in league matches at Turf Moor, so it's a good win for City. Deserved a better end to their reign than Saturday's game. Manchester City were not disposed to overthrow them in the grand manner, but played just well enough in the second half to earn their victory. They're not very nice, is it? I mean, the press having a go at City. Oh, never heard of it. And the City team that day, Mulhern, Buck, Pardo, Doyle, Heslop, Oakes, Lee, Bell, Summerby, Young and Coleman. More or less the team that I could run off as my favourite team of the 60s and the one I remember. Stan Bowles was the unused substitute. There you go, Mr. Stan Bowles. Yeah, I mean, my little getting away from that. My first trip, as I said, came on the 12th of October. This one here, 12th of October 1974. So I would have been 15 then. I went by football special to that. I went to a lot of games by coach, but I did go to quite a few by football special as well. And I do remember when I got into Burnley thinking how much the side was, because obviously you could stand on the side. It was like the Kipax, wasn't it? But it's like a sort of smaller version of the Kipax, a more compact version, in my mind anyway. I was 15, perhaps, I don't know. Off the pitch, of course, there was no real segregation then. It was a bit in and out at different grounds. There was no sort of set thing, you were sort of told to go in one end, but you could more or less wander around the standing section. It was at the side and at the end as well, and there's literally thousands of City fans there that day, and all that sort I can remember is just the City fans being in that big side, the Kipax side, and it all kicking off. I mean, obviously it was all kicking off before the game, and all my memory of it was obviously Burnley fans running away and jumping back over the turnstiles in the distance to try and get out of the ground, because it all, as City fans ran en masse at them at that stage. I mean, on the pitch, so this is it. I mean, obviously 74, it was really, really bad then. I mean, it was just one of those games in one of those places I went as a teenager and felt quite comfortable. There was never any thought of any problems, if you like, which obviously I know there has been since. But yeah, but that's just a sign of the times then, unfortunately. I mean, on the pitch we did sit third after 11 games prior to this game, and just 1 point behind Liverpool. But we actually suffered a 2-1 defeat that day. So, I mean, yeah, I don't remember us winning many games when I went to away games in the 70s. The attendance of 23,406. And again, it was a penalty City scored. Chewett scored the penalty, but it wasn't enough, unfortunately. The City team that day, McRae, Hammond, Pardo, Doyle, Clark, Oakes, Henson, Bell, Summerby, Barnes and Chewett. And sub was Mr. Horswell. Yeah, remember Mr. Horswell? Didn't he come with Chewett as a sort of part of the deal? Yeah, and interesting enough, as I said, that trouble before the game, it carried on afterwards. There was sort of fun and games going back to the train station as well. It sort of sticks in my mind as sort of hundreds of City fans, and yes, me with them, because you sort of, at 15, you tended to just go with the crowd, if you just, you didn't sort of, as an older guy, I knew what to do and when to avoid trouble, etc., etc. But at 15, you didn't, did you? And I think there was an escort, but hundreds of City fans broke away and went on a little bit of a rampage through a shopping centre and smashing stalls and windows. And I mean, I wasn't. I was just running. I was just trying to follow the crowd, basically. So again, it didn't end very well. So yeah, we took defeat really well those days, didn't we? Yeah, I mean, it was. We probably would have done it if we'd won. To be honest with you, it's just one of those things that's quite normal at the time. Usually you got escorts back and you got attacked as this sort of thing. But it was a bit much of a free for all for City fans that day. I remember. I don't know what memories you've got if you went that day. Yeah. So anyway, that was my first visit, a defeat and lots of trouble. But hey, there you go. It never put me off going back to Burnley. I always quite like going to Burnley. How are they doing? Well, they have been on quite a good run of form lately, have they? And they recently beat Liverpool at Anfield, which was, yeah, well done you. Everyone was a bit chuffed about that. They beat Fulham at Craven Cottage in the FA Cup, and they beat Aston Villa at Turf Moor. Aston Villa have been playing quite well, haven't they? However, that's sort of come to an end, didn't it, at weekend? They were beaten by Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And all they managed to get all game was one off-target shot, so it wasn't fantastic. So as I do this on Monday afternoon, Monday evening, they sit 16th. Yeah, I mean, they're quite comfortable. They're 8 points above third from bottom Fulham, so they have got a bit of a cushion there. So obviously it's not too bad, but they will obviously, hopefully, they will not pick up any points against us. So they've still got work to do, but some of the early season injury problems they had, I think when we played them in the cup, I think they had injury problems, didn't they? Some of those early season injury problems have started to clear up, but they do have still 2 or 3 key guys who could be missing for the game on Wednesday night. But we'll see. It's a lot better for them than it was. But after that poor display at Stamford Bridge, perhaps Mr. Dyche should give them a rocket, and they'll unfortunately play a little bit better against us. Yeah, I mean, my little thoughts. I mean, they said they were poor at Stamford Bridge, so I can't believe they'll be that bad again. But they've not really had much fight about them at Turf Moor against City recently. I don't think. I think Dyche is certainly, the game before last, was very unhappy with that 4-1 victory for City. Dyche really had a go at his players. They seem to be a bit overawed. And hopefully we can overawe them tomorrow. But obviously I think we're going to have to make a quick start. I mean, a full-strength City side should be able to break Burnley down. Of course, Dyche, like most of the managers, will have a plan to Wilder. He'll try to hit us on free kicks. That's important. We don't give too many silly free kicks away in and around the box, because they're still very good in the air and still very good at set pieces. So I think Dyche will have a similar plan to perhaps Wilder's, to stay in it as long as he can. So it's up to us, really, to knock any belief out of them very quickly, isn't it? I mean, we've got a tough game coming up against Liverpool, so we don't want to be panicking and sort of 0-0 with like 20 minutes to go in this one, do we? Or goal down even. So we want to get this put to bed and then look forward as much as we can to the Liverpool game. There we go. But yeah, we've got to hit them hard, I think, in this. We've got to go for it from the start. No messing about. Yeah, so my 11 for the team. I mean, I played with putting Laporte in there. I think Laporte might play a left back against Liverpool as long as the other guys are fit. But I've stuck with Zinchenko, because if he is thinking about Liverpool, I think he'll play Laporte and obviously get that system in ready for Anfield. So I haven't put him in my team, but I think that could happen. I've got Ederson, Cancelo, Stones, Diaz and Zinchenko. But as I said, I think he might swap Zinchenko with Laporte. Then I think he'll play Rodri and Gundogan, because I think he'll play both of them against Liverpool as long as they're both fit. I think he'll play Bernardo. And I think he'll go Sterling, Jesus and Torres, to be honest with you. I mean, I won't be surprised if Mahrez features, but yeah, I mean, Sterling, I think he had a little bit of a better game against Liverpool last time we played him, didn't we? But he's never has great games against Liverpool, so you might be thinking of keeping him out of it anyway. But I think for Burnley, I think he'll start the game, having the rest in the last game we played. So that's my 11. Let me know what you think anyway, what your 11 players will be. Match officials, we've got Mr. Martin Atkinson as a referee. His linos are Konstantin Atsidakis again. Eddie Smart, I think, does he live in Manchester, this Konstantin guy? We always seem to have him a lot. Fourth official, Anthony Taylor. On VAR, we got Stuart Atwell and assistant Marc Perry. So yeah, my score prediction, it's a funny one, isn't it? I mean, I'm totally getting these wrong lately. I'm going for 3-0. I think it's... I don't see Burnley scoring, or I hope they don't score. They may do. But I was either 2-0 or 3-0. So I've gone for... I plumped for 3-0. I've been confident. If we can get an early goal or two, I think we'll be all right. So that's my prediction. Let me know what yours is anyway. And the odds on the game, please. I don't condone gambling, and the fun stop. And never, ever gamble more than you can afford. And we're having a bad time at the moment, so I hope you're keeping your stakes low if you're sort of listening to any of my rubbish advice at the moment. Yeah, total wipeout last time. Again, quite close to sort of making but it's no good it's no good, is it? The close isn't good enough. It's like hitting the bar of the post. You've got to get it between those, you've got to get it in that onion bag, and I'm afraid a total 6-point loss for me is not very good. I think that's 2 or 3 I've had now in the last 3 or 4 games, which isn't great. So I'm trying to keep it in. I'm trying to keep sensible with him, but I said it's just for a matter of interest. I don't put much on, so it's not too bad. But it's nice to win, isn't it? And it's always nice to win. Yeah, interesting enough, the odds on the Premier League. City have come in a little bit. They were 2-9, I think, best price. Now we're 1-4, but that's because Liverpool have dropped again. They've dropped to 4-1, so they've improved. Obviously, now they've started to hit a little bit of form, obviously just in time to play us. But yeah, and United, and you can get 19-1 on United now. I mean, that was unthinkable a couple of weeks ago, 19-1. Burnley, of course, you can't get anything on them to win the Premier League, but they are still fifth favourites, which is in line with where they are in the league, to be honest with you, at 6-1 to go down. So I don't particularly think at this stage, no matter what happens against us, that they will go down. I think they've got enough to stay up. And on the managers to go, yeah, Pep's just continuing. I think he got down to 40-1 a couple of weeks ago. He's out to 80-1 now. There's no one less likely to be the next manager to leave than Pep. He's obviously the highest price now, which he wasn't. Obviously, he was 3 or 4 down the pecking order. Dyche's 40-1, so he's pretty safe by the looks of it. There's no problem there as far as the bookies are concerned. The match odds, yeah, 1-5 on for a City win, so not overly high. 6-1 the draw, 14-1 for Burnley to win. Both teams to score. No is 4-7, and yes is 5-4. So yeah, I mean, I'd hint at the no, wouldn't you? I hope we're going to keep another clean sheet. I mean, it can't carry on, can it? I mean, they say they might. It's like anything. These are nice to get these clean sheets, but surely we can't keep getting them all the time. We're going to have a phase where we start letting goals in, obviously. So yeah, well they're not. It's a bit restricted, those odds. Correct score where I'm going to have my first couple of bets. Obviously I said 3-0 into, so that's 13-2. So I'll have a point on that, and 2-0 I'll have a point on that as well at 11-2. Other City wins: 1-0 is 7-1, 4-0 is 12-1, 5-0 is 22-1. If you want to equal our record score, 6-0, that's 50-1. So you fancied that. If you fancy Burnley might score, but City still to win, 2-1 to City is 10-1, and the safe score rule that a lot of people come out with, 3-1, is 12-1. Half time, full time, yes, City's 8-11, which I think it will be. But I'm just going to edge my bets. I'm just going to go for a draw, and I'm just going to go for the Burnley are holding us to a draw at half time. I hope not. I don't want them to be, but it's 3-1. So I thought, yeah, I'll have a go at that this week. I'll have a point on a draw, and then City to win the second half. Anytime goal scorer, yeah, the only real value. I mean, not odds on. You got Foden at 6-4. He's perhaps due a goal. Gundogan at 15-8. He might have used up his quota. Bernardo at 5-2. Well, he needs to perhaps get another one off Bernardo. That'd be nice. But if you fancy Diaz or Stones, they're quite good. Diaz is 10-1 and Stones is 12-1. I mean, Diaz keeps knocking on the door, doesn't he? And Stones has obviously broke his duck recently. The winning margins are interesting. City by 2 goals is 11-4. That's not a bad price. And by 3 goals is 4-1. So either of those, if you fancied that. I won't even touch the corners this week because I got again. I was 1 out for the second game in a row. So obviously, that's just how it is. I did over 10 for the last game, but obviously we only actually had 10 corners, so I needed 11. But hey, there you go. So I'll ignore the corners this week. Over market, I'll go for. If you fancied over 2.5 goals in the game, that's 4-6. So that's not bad actually. I mean, 3 goals or more, yeah, but 40, it's odds on. So how about over 3.5? How about a 3-1 or a 4-0 or this is. So I'm going against my predicted scores, but obviously I'm just edging my bets a little bit, as they say. So over 3.5 is 13-8. So I've gone 2 points on that, but I wouldn't put anyone off doing over 2 and 2.5. That's 4-6 as well, so I wouldn't put anything off that. Anyway, let me know if you're going to have a little flutter. As I said, I don't condone gambling. Only ever bet what you can afford to say. When I say a point, I literally just put £1 on. Sometimes I might even put 50p a point on it. So I don't know, just whatever mood. It's just a little, as I said, it's just a little bit of fun. So when I have a 6 points loss, it's not so bad. It's not so bad, but hey, we'll see. Let me know what you're doing anyway. If anything took your fancy that you're doing with the any sort of quirky odds that you've had to go on, some of these weird sort of statistic things that always good fun. But it's a matter of finding the bookmaker who'll take them, to be honest with you. Anyway, and that's the odds. And just finally, before we finish, yeah, the We're Not Really Here show, the City show that we always talk about. Yeah, a bit short on guests this week. I'm sure I heard Steve McInerney saying he was on, but at the moment they've only got Sean Goulter will join presenter Kyle Walker on Wednesday. So perhaps Steve McInerney's not going on it. I'm not too sure. Perhaps he'll have to do some work for his almost 50,000 followers. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, he did. I think he did say he was going on it, but unless he's obviously. He might be, and then just not had time to put it down, or something's happened anyway. So at the moment, it's just Mr. Sean Goulter with presenter Kyle Walker. That's the We're Not Really Here show, which an hour before kick-off, half-time, and then 5 or 10 minutes after the match, isn't it? If that's your sort of thing, as I say, I don't have really a lot of time to listen to that, but if you do, that's what's happening with that. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Of course, I'll be back with a review of this game on Thursday, so it'll be Thursday after lunch. Obviously, I'll be working Thursday morning early, so it'll be put together after, so probably early afternoon, probably at 1 or 2 o'clock or something like that on Thursday. And please, if you can check out my playlist, and there's the latest episode 3 of the One City show, which is proving quite popular, where we have a look at the media, social media and the ordinary media, things that have happened around City, and some great images, some nice quotes and ideas, and some nice headlines and stuff. Just a bit of fun. Oh, the good, the bad, and the humour. That was it all around Manchester City. So please check that out. That's episode 3. Of the One City show. Anyway, thanks for joining me today for this big match preview. Burnley versus Manchester City, 3rd of February 2021, 6 p.m. kickoff GMT here in the Premier League. So thanks for that. What are you going to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Until you join me again here on the Citizen channel, or perhaps you flit across and have a look at my film and TV channel, whatever it is. I only ever ask you all to please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. See you soon. Thanks for watching.